This is Comic Picks by the Glick.
Hey, I'm your host, Jason Glick.
How you doing, Jason Glick?
I'm good, John. Yourself?
Not too bad. What do you have on tap for us tonight?
All right. Well, tonight is something that I've been girding myself to talk about for a little while because I got the final volume of this series a little while ago and just been waiting for the right time to talk about the series in full. This would be Prophet, the relaunch of the old Rob Liefeld property by Brandon Graham. It's a guy who's a very idiosyncratic and distinct talent working these days. Now, let's talk about a bit about Liefeld. Now, he's best known, or infamously known, as one of the as coming to fame working on Marvel's New Mutants back in the day. He's the guy who gave us Cable and Deadpool. And launched X-Force back in the 90s and helped launch one of the one of the biggest selling times in Marvel. And then he, along with several other creators, including Jim Lee, Todd McFarlane, Eric Larson, Mark Silvestri, they just decamped. They decided, hey, we're not getting the respect we feel we deserve at Marvel, so now we're going to go form our own thing at Image. And from there, Liefeld created other characters and teams that he completely owned himself, though not without a certain amount of controversy that even ended with him being kicked out of Image for a little while. He's a very interesting personality, also a very controversial talent because, well, let's just say that he's kind of an eternal arrested adolescent. So in terms of what he's been delivering over the years, big guys with big muscles. It's big guns. It's that. Those are his calling cards. It's and he's just been trading on that for years. So, and on one hand, it kind of works because he thoroughly believes in what he's doing, and hey, and if you can do that, then hey, that, more power to you. But at the same time, that's not really what I want from my comics at all. It's Liefeld is not someone who I was a fan of back when I was getting into comics. And looking at his stuff today, okay, I have yet to acquire the appropriate suspension of disbelief needed in order to fully appreciate his style. Some people have, but not me. Still, Liefeld is, however, self-aware enough that he realizes that hey, sometimes the best thing you can do with the characters you've created is just turn them over to other creators and then just say, hey, do whatever the hell you want. This is why the only other characters I've created for significant characters I've collected from Liefeld are the two-volume reprint of Supreme, his Superman analog knockoff that he did, which at one point he turned over to Alan Moore, and basically Moore just used that character to tell all the Superman stories he wasn't able to at DC, and it worked really well. Well enough until Liefeld's company went bankrupt, and then Moore had to stop telling the story he was doing in the middle of things. But hey, that's letting Alan Moore run rampant on a superhero character that he had a story he wanted to tell. Well, it's only going to result in good stuff. It's more than anything else. So, but a couple of years back, well, in 2012, Liefeld basically did another relaunch of his Extreme properties. That's the name of the studio, Extreme Studios, because that's how he rolls. And one of the titles that he there were four core titles that there was a new Supreme series that basically involved the last Alan Moore written issue before Eric Larson took over and told the Supreme story that he wanted to do. You had Glory from Joe Keating, which I got the first volume of, was not impressed, passed it up. Bloodstrike by Tim Seeley, which I heard decent things about, but never bothered to pick up myself. And then there's Prophet, which he turned over to Graham. And this is kind of the one that really caught on, so to speak. Really, it's it never sold in gangbuster numbers, but it did sell steadily enough to allow to run for 25 issues to a 2-issue Strike File miniseries, and then the concluding volume, Earth War, which ran for 6 issues last year. So clearly, Graham was doing something right in order to get the series to last this long. It's like Graham certainly is a guy who certainly has talent. It's like he's got a very very clean very very clean weird style that I appreciate, but he's more about style and substance. Basically, giving you a really cool idea to think about, and then just moving on to the next cool idea, rather than just developing what he gave you right there. Now this is the impression I've gotten from him after reading his 2 image series. What was it? Oh, King City and Multiple Warheads. It's like real works of style over substance, but the thing is, I get the feeling the story of how Eric Stevenson negotiated the release of King City from Tokyo Pop to be republished by Image is probably a more interesting story than the one being told there, which is all about like a guy, like a cat who can do multiple things. It's like, and so sort of like ancient world consuming evil. It's strange. It's like it won an Eisner for being best reprinted work, which I think was more for the fact that Stevenson was able to rescue it from Tokyo Pop more than anything else. But like I said, I think I'd love to know what kind of negotiations Stevenson went through with Tokyo Pop head honcho Stu Levy, because when it was republished by Image, it still bore the Tokyo Pop logo on the spine. So there was some give and take there. So, but with Prophet, basically, the thing about this was I heard it was basically like really weird Conan in space. I mean, you've got a guy who's has to rely on his wits. It's like in order to survive in a feral alien landscape. It's like that was actually like Earth. It's like 10,000 years in the future, the former home of the great Earth Empire. It's like, and he's going on trying to figure out how to bring it back. And that was just the first arc. Things get stranger from there as Graham reveals that there are multiple versions of Prophet. Now, the thing about Prophet is that, well, I wasn't actually, I'm not dedicated enough to actually go back and read old issues of Liefeld comics in order to understand this character. So I just went to Wikipedia. Sorry, guys. And looking at Prophet, well, he's basically Liefeld's version of Captain America, a homeless man living in World War II who participated in a medical experiment by a time traveling scientist who turned him into a super soldier to serve an evil dude, and then the scientist had a change of heart and turned Prophet into a guy who's going to serve God, hence the name, I guess, and then sent him to sleep for a couple of decades until he was woken up by Youngblood. It's like in the present day. It's like, and there you go. So, like Captain America by way of Liefeld. That's not really an inspiring the premise. So, like the idea that Graham felt the idea need to just ditch all of that and do his own Space Conan thing. That actually works pretty well. Now, there are certain other Liefeld characters that are brought back here, over the course of the series. The Man Mountain, known as Badrock, who's revealed to have embraced pacifism and transcendence, growing so big as to become a planet, and then going up to a higher plane of existence, only to come back when when he was needed. And Die Hard, it's like a cyborg who's basically lived through the 10,000 year period from the original series to the present day of a Prophet. Now, the core story in Prophet is very simple. It's like basically the Great Earth Empire once flourished for several thousand years, but then it grew decadent, corrupt, ruled by its cruel and cunning Prophet clones. That's another thing I'll have to get back to in a second. And it's like, and eventually it was put down by one of its one of its own former heroes, the great grandfather John Prophet. And eventually, and then peace reigned for, well, something resembling peace reigned for 1,000 years until the Earth Empire's protocols were reawakened by the Prophet who we meet in the in this new series, and he brings the Empire back, and they're slowly going to take back what was once theirs, but at the same time they wind up reawakening the old great gray grandfather John Prophet, who it's like the one who took them down the last time, and now he's going to go and take them down again. That's the core story right there. It's basically like good guys versus the evil empire. Oh, and it turns out there's a shard of an alien intelligence that passed from a higher dimension into ours. Then a bit of its consciousness broke off, and now it forms a sliver of pain and alien intelligence that's traveling throughout the galaxy as well. And also the Earth Empire wants that to help cement its rule as well. Like I said, the Graham. Well, even though it's like I've been using his name a lot here, he's not really the core guy here. I mean, like in the even though he contributed art to it, he's listed as the main story guy here. He also gives story credit to all of his co-artists as well. This includes the likes of Simon Roy, Farrell Dalrymple, and Giannis Milano Giannis. It's like over the course of the series. So it's like, I find it's interesting to see to see him give that level of control to to an artist. Does it actually result in a more complex or telling story? Not quite. I mean, there are some interesting tales to be told. It's like over the course of the series, such as the Jam issue, which details Die Hard's 10,000 year struggle. His solo issue with Ron Wimberly, where we get a nice solo take on what he was doing over the course, doing at one point a few few hundred years back. It's like working to save some aliens from this one cultist, or with Roy doing a nice issue about two prophets working at cross purposes. It's like one who is still under the control of the Earth Empire, and another who has gone native, for lack of a better term, but working with a group of feral ape humans. Now, it's like these stories are simple. It's like not really offering a lot that we haven't seen before in terms of science fiction conventions and stories. But they're done with a lot of style. It's like and a lot of invention in the in the art. Milano Giannis showed that he was not ready for prime time, working on 2 issues of All New Ultimates at Marvel. But here he's got a great detailed line. Great detailed line work that I love seeing in action, just to appreciate the detail and style he can bring to it. Roy is fantastic. Whatever issue he decides to contribute, it's like, because it just the level of detail and style that he brings to things. It's like, and the other artists who Graham employs, it's like they're definitely capable as well. There's not a bad artist in the bunch. If nothing else, like I said, you can buy all 5 volumes of Prophet, and if you are an art person, someone who buys comics just to see really interesting and strange art, it's like you will go away satisfied just by looking at that. If you're one who's looking for a good story, well, okay, Prophet isn't a bad story, but it does continue. For the most part, it does continue Graham's style of just throwing off like lots of interesting little details about about this world, but rather than actually going in detail about them. So it's kind of like when they go back to do the Prophet Strikefall miniseries, and we actually get the history of the Great Earth Empire. It's kind of a relief. Or whenever we stopped for a single issue flashback, about the likes of other solo prophets or Die Hard. That's actually pretty good too. It's when he does decide to stop moving this fairly generic plot about conquest forward. It works pretty well. And when you get to the climax, Earth War, which does make a lot more sense when you after you've gone back and reread all 4 volumes. When I read this the first time, I was like, okay, I've forgotten way too much for this to make any impression on me. But going back and rereading everything, like I said, it does hang together fairly well, but it's just it's still like a very simple story. I mean, even with all of its talk about one of John's Empire antagonists, the 4-armed multi-mutox John, teaming up with one of the Empire's Earth brains to transcend reality, where they meet one of Liefeld's old creations, Glory. It's that's kind of okay, this makes a certain amount of sense, but I have no real emotional investment in these characters to really care about what they're going through. It's like I said, if you're going to do a simple story, then you got to go balls out on the style. And to Graham and all the artists' credit here, yeah, they do pull that off. So ultimately, yeah, I don't think Prophet is a great series, but it's definitely different, and it's a good kind of different, the kind of thing that kind of strange that saying that we could definitely use more of in comics, but also you look at someone could look at this and go, hey, you know what, it's this is cool, but I realized I could probably do something like this only better. So that's kind of impression I hope that the series fosters. It's hey, this is the kind it's weird, strange, but there's definitely room for improvement. But ultimately, the good kind of different. I did enjoy the 5 volumes of Prophet. I guess whether or not you will kind of depend on whether or not you're looking for something equally strange in your comics diet. Does that include you, John?
Sorry, I was on mute, so you probably didn't hear a lot of what I said. Which was
I heard nothing of what you said.
Exactly. No. I don't know, actually. Therefore, no.
Fair enough.
So, do you recommend the series?
Yeah, like I said, if you're looking for something that's different, that's the good kind of different, then yeah, go check it out. But it's also if you're looking for a good, compelling original story, probably not it.
All right. Do you know what you're going to talk about next time?
Well, it's another major Spider-Man event. So it's assuming that I can get things worked out with the UPS. I'll be talking about Spider-Man: The Clone Conspiracy next time.
All right. We'll catch you next time on Comic Picks by the Click.
Laters.
Bye.